Nerds, today I'm ranking all of the Skylanders from SSA and Giants based off of Ring Out. Yeah! Starting off, we're gonna just do the Skylanders from SSA. With Spyro, I think he's alright. His ram attack is pretty good. I'm not sure how much all of the attacks actually charge up the meter yet. Honestly, this is more arbitrary, if anything. This is volume 2 of the Skylanders Ring Out tier list. The first one is deleted off the face of the planet because it sucks, and it's terrible, and I hate it. Anyway, Spyro's flying is completely useless pretty much. It's only good with his soul gem and I forget the wow pow. I forgot about the wow pow. Oops. Oopsie. Whoopsie. Anyway. And even then it's still not that good. Cause if you want to run away or dodge an attack, why? Just this is Ring Out. You spam attacks to win. You don't strafe. And secondly, you use your ram because it's much better and it does more damage. Anyway. And then his primary attack, it shoots fireballs. The fireballs are really good if you go for the fireball path, but then you're missing out on the ram attack being really good. You wouldn't really want to use the ram attack if you're not using the ram attack path. But you probably don't want to use it anyway, because you're probably just going to sit in the corner and smash A for the entire game. I'm actually not sure what the controls are for Xbox 360 version, though. Just talking about the Wii. Anyway. Which is why Spyro's in B tier, because he's alright, but he's not that good. Actually, I'll put him in B tier. Double Trouble is absolutely great and would go in S tier. I think it's too early to actually say S tier, but I think this is good. And the main reason why is because he's that goated. He really is. Prove me wrong. His primary attack is all you need. You could just not have a secondary or a tertiary attack and you'd be completely perfectly fine, because that's all you're gonna do. At least with Spyro, like even Spyro, he could use his secondary attack to strafe, and it does more damage with the ram path. But why though? Anyway, Double Trouble has one attack and he rolls with it. He does not need anything else. He's just goated. He does good damage. He probably fills up the meter quick as well. He's aggro, according to Boombringer in the sniper video. Spoilers, sorry. He's just really good. I'll put him in A tier because the S tier is for the absolute best of the best. We'll get to the S tier at the end. We'll decide who fits there. Anyway, next is Wrecking Ball, and he is cool and he is amazing for people with Vol fetishes. But that's not me. He is a terrible Skylander. Might actually be the worst in the game. Like, I'm not joking. He's definitely worse than Eruptor. Probably worse than Sprocket. Definitely worse than Sprocket. Worse than... What else is here that's pretty bad? Pop Fizz, I think, is bad. I'm not sure. We'll get to that when we get there. But yeah. Pretty dog water. He fits in D tier or F tier perfectly. Next is Voodoo, who also isn't good. He's like a D tier. His primary attack is fine. His secondary, a good approach tool, and his tertiary attack is good for blocking us. Actually, you know what? We'll put him in C tier. He's not good, but thinking about it more, I think he's a bit better than what I was saying. Anyway, next is Gilgrunt. And Gilgrunt, I think, is not that good. His primary attack, I'm pretty sure, is the same as Spyro's. His second secondary attack. That's the one where he shoots the water, right? Like a flamethrower. And then he flies. But the reason why he sucks is, unlike Voodoo, who basically only has one attack because that's all he needs. Gilligran is basically not allowed to use his other two attacks for half the game, unless you use the water path to refill faster. Anyway, what was I saying? Oops, I'm pretty sure the anchor path lets him shoot like big anchors. I don't know, alright? I suck with Gilligran. I've literally never used him, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, next is Slam Bam, and he's definitely an A tier. He slides around, which gives him movement, which is a nice approaching tool. And unlike Spyro, who has a good approaching tool, Slam Bam actually wants the good approaching tool, because what he wants to do is get close to the enemy, fill up the meter, and launch and pretty much pick him up with his forearms and yeet him off the arena. Which is pretty goated. And he can freeze the enemy, which basically makes it so they can't do anything. Which is amazing. Definitely one of the best. And next is Zap, and he pretty much all he does is just zap the ground around him. That's all he does. It's in the name, Zap. And honestly, I think it works. I don't remember what his tertiary attack is, to be honest. But I do remember the primary and the secondary, and they are good. They just aren't good enough to carry him. I'm sure when this tier list gets more refined, he'll probably move up to like B tier, but that's not happening for now. And next is Whamshell, and he is going in A tier. Let's go. He's definitely good in Arena Rumble. So his primary attack is a big smack, and it probably fills up like a third of the bar, I'm not sure. His secondary attack is the... That's the one where he shoots the no, it's... Is that the one where he shoots the projectile? I think so. And the projectile sucks. And his tertiary attack, he slams hits the ground and it shoots like lightning, I think, all over. I don't know, I'm idiot. Dumb moment here. But like, that's really good. It probably fills up the bar like halfway. And that's really good because it means that he could fill up the bar in exactly 3 hits, other than the attacks that fill up the bar in 4 hits, from like filling up the bar 3 points. The bar is 10 points, by the way. So attacks that do 3 are kind of unfortunate because they take 4 hits to fill up the bar before you can go flying. Next is Trigger Happy. We're starting off the tech element. And the tech element starts off with a banger. And next up is a banger, but we'll get to Drobot. But the reason why Trigger Happy is he's going to be an S tier. Like, it's a guarantee. There's no way he isn't. But basically, his primary attack, just like Double Trouble, but even more. Yeah, Double Trouble. You only need the primary attack. You can spam it, and it's amazing. But also the secondary and tertiary attack are also really good. And he takes full advantage of that. Well, not really, because, again, he only needs primary. Mash A, guys, it works. Next is Drobot, who was literally the same thing, except his flying actually synchronizes pretty well, because it allows him to move while still aiming at the target, which allows him to do more damage. However, it doesn't bounce off walls, and that's why Trigger Happy's like the best. So yeah. Anyway, next is Drill Sergeant. He basically never uses his secondary attack. Well, I meant primary attack. Mostly because you can only use it twice, and then it has to reload, which is annoying. But yeah, what you normally do is run around, which is actually very useful, and spam hold the tertiary attack button, which is going to be, I forget if it's the C or the Z button. I'm talking about the Wii nunchucks, by the way. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Z button. Maybe it is the Z button, because the C buttons used to like skip cutscenes and lift boulders. So yeah, that's what you're gonna be wanting to do, and because of how fast the thingos are with the secondary attack path, it's just great. Just really good. It's amazing. And also, considering how fast he moves, not just his attack speed with the tertiary, it helps him out a lot. He's even faster than Spyro when his RAM is all done. Wait, Drill Sergeant isn't in the Forgotten 8? I thought he... No way Boomer's the one in the Forgotten 8. Drill Sergeant has a series 2? I thought he was in the Forgotten 8. What? Oh yeah, and the other two in the Forgotten 8 are Whamshell and Voodoo. What's Boomer? Boomer I don't know enough about to give him a proper ranking. But I do know that his throwing of dynamite is good, and his slam is good. I'll just I'll shove him in B tier, but he's probably better than that. Anyway, Stealth Elf. I think I'm gonna make a lot of people mad. I think. I'm really bad at this. But I don't think Ninjini is that good in battle mode. Her primary attack is good. I don't think she's just that good. It's probably only biased because she's in the starter pack. But like, so is Spyro and Gil Grunt. I'll just shove her next to Gil Grunt. I don't know. But I think she could be lower. Anyway, next is the life element. Oh wait, we already started with that. Which I think is the best element outside of someone in particular. Someone. But yeah, next we have Stump Smash. And let me just tell ya, I don't think he's that good. His Mega Nut, when it splits up into the billion pieces, the 6 balls, I think that's nice. Especially if you can somehow find a way to get the enemy to get hit by multiple of them. But I just don't think they do that well. I don't think they do enough damage, actually. The slam attack is basically useless unless the enemy is also close range. But also, you can just spam the regular nut, and if you're going with the secondary path, I believe that's the one where when you use the attack, it shoots 2 balls, and it's really fast. So, so yeah, that's what you're going to be going for. Yeah. I think that is good enough to put him in B tier. Oh yeah, Drill Sergeant's better than Spyro. I think that's good, yeah. Zook is going in S tier. But that's partially biased because Zook is one of my favorite Skylanders. I think he might actually be my second favorite Skylander. Or third. I don't know. Third and second is really kind of a toss-up. I'm going to give you a hint. The one that he is basically tied with is also in the life element. And the number 1 is the same as the number 4. 4th is Chop Chop, by the way. Anyway, what you do is you go for the path where when you use his tertiary attack, it turns into, wherever it lands, it turns into a cactus. That's like an incredible thing. And then you use I'm pretty sure it is a Wow Pow, but maybe not. But what it does is when you use the tertiary attack where if it lands, it splits up into 3. And then you have a bunch of cacti everywhere, and then you just keep shooting everywhere, and you just turn the entire map into a desert, or like a desert that's flooded with cacti, and that's like all that's there, and it's literally the entire ground is cactus, and it's like everywhere. I said it's everywhere like 10 times now, but anyway. Next is Camo. Was let me check. Probably the best Skylander in the Forgotten 8. Definitely in my opinion the best. I think he's better than Whamshell, but I don't know, guys. I know Camo's gotta be S tier though. And just like Zook, oh yeah, I didn't explain Zook's full kit. His primary attack shoots a boring ass projectile. It's similar to Gilgrunt's, except when it except it doesn't split into 3 and it does damage, and when it lands it splits into shrapnel, so if you miss, you might hit your enemy. Who knows? And his secondary attack creates a shield, which is always good. Or like, it's not the best shield because I think enemies or Skylanders like Whirlwind or Shroom Boom or Boomer could hit through it. But it's still decent. Yeah, and because it also damages enemies that hit it or touch it. So yeah, that's nice. Anyway, Camo. Back to Camo. Camo. I think Camo is definitely going in S tier. So far, every Skylander that's in the A tier is going in the S tier. I feel like I gotta be more linear with who deserves to go in the S tier. But yeah, I've got my plans for who belongs in the S tier. But anyway, Camo. Camo's projectile shoots a sunball thingy, and it does a bit of damage. But when you hold down the attack button and it doesn't hit anything and you miss, it starts to spin around you. You can have up to 3 spinning around you, and they can heal you. Well, that actually doesn't matter because this is ring out. But still, well, that actually really doesn't matter. Anyway, his secondary attack is really overpowered because it gets everywhere and it blows up in your enemy's face. It's gonna do a bunch of damage. It always will. When I say damage, it will fill up the meter really quick. But anyway, his tertiary attack is why I love Camo so much, and I don't think it's the best part of him because it requires the other path to why the secondary is amazing. And it's the watermelon attack. Yes, the one where he digs underground and there's like 6 watermelon that spawn around him. I think that's amazing. But yeah, the reason why that's so good is when you let go of the tertiary attack button, they all go jump away from you or where they were, like out to the outside of the circle, and they all do damage. And you can just do it again. You can keep doing it until the enemy is gone. A goner. And it does amazing damage as well. So it's like, yeah, he's really good. I think I should put Skylanders in the S tier that I think belong. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I'll leave it like that for now. But there's gonna be more. Next is Flame Slinger, who is... I love how all this time there's been no Skylanders in the D tier, and then below that is just Wrecking Ball sitting in the F tier crying. Well, not crying, but it's like it looks sad. He's just sitting there in that little corner, not really doing anything with anyone. But anyway, we're up to the Fire Skylanders, starting with Flame Slinger. And I think he's alright. He has a Fire Dash move that lets him spin around in a circle, and then the damages. He has projectiles that actually do damage. However, I think it's unfair to Gilgrunt that we keep putting enemies who have an attack that's just 3 projectiles. I think it's unfair to put all of those Skylanders above the... whatever. Here, you can sit in D tier. I'm biased anyway. This is just the first tier list, who cares? I'm technically second, but the first one, dead! Anyway. And his tertiary attack doesn't really do that much for him, unless it homes, similar to what Zook's does. Also, you can home with Zook's one, but I don't think it's that good. But I think Flameslinger does kind of home. And I don't mean like when you hold the tertiary attack button and you can choose where it lands for Zook. I mean like it actually gets kind of close to the target, like close to hitting. Which is bad against stuff like Drill Sergeant, who's really fast, but like it's still good. And it creates cactuses that make it harder to just run around. Anyway, so I don't think Flameslinger is that good. I think he's kind of overrated for battle mode, but that's only because he's my dad and my brother's favorite. And like, I'm the one who's actually making the tier list, so I can make my own decisions. And Eruptor actually sucks, so I'm gonna put him in F. You know, we don't actually need an F tier. Anyway, next is Igniter. I shouldn't really talk about why Eruptor is bad. I think it's just obvious. His primary attack is just him throwing a lava ball. It doesn't do anything. I don't remember his secondary attack. And his tertiary attack is just him throwing up. It's good AoE, but it's like not far enough out. And it doesn't allow you to make a massive projectile to blow someone up. Like another Skylander that we'll get onto later. With a big fireball. Anyway. So yeah, I just don't think Eruptor is that good. His secondary attack, whatever it is, unless it's like Zook's primary, or not Zook, Double Trouble's primary, or Trigger Happy's primary, or Slam Bam's secondary, it's just not good. Because nobody is standing in that area. I mean, it's the same thing for the other one we'll touch on later, but at least he gets a projectile that goes out of the area. And also that one can turn into a motorcycle. So he's just automatically S tier. But anyway. Igniter. What do you want me to say? Honestly, this is probably one of the Skylanders that I don't have enough experience with to really determine where he'd rank. It's similar to Boomer, where I've just literally never used him in battle mode. No one, out of the few people who I've battled against in battle mode, have never used him. It's like, I don't know. Where does this guy fit? I think he'd be in the mid to like low B tier, high mid C tier. Probably like above Gilgrunt. I don't know where this guy would fit. Actually, I think he'd be alright. I think he'd be like very low A tier or mid B tier. I'm gonna put him in the now existing don't know tier. I don't even know. And I'll be very reluctant to put any Skylander in there unless I really have no idea where to put them. Stuff like Ghost Roaster would be in here. Actually, you know what? I think I could rank Ghost Roaster. But I don't even have him available to play as. Rip. Anyway, next is Sunburn. And I'm definitely gonna get hate for this, but I actually think he's kind of good. I think he's like A tier. Like, definitely low A tier, because a lot of the Skylanders in the A tier, you just couldn't win against. Like, maybe Whamshell, but it's not really a bit of a stretch, actually. Yeah, I think he kind of counts as Whamshell. I'll put Whamshell in B tier, actually. So yeah. Also, YouTube, don't disable comments, please. And next is Lightning Rod. I think he's pretty good. His only issue, I'm pretty sure, is that he's too vulnerable when he uses the one attack where he goes really big and strikes Zeus upon ye. And his primary attack is good. And I'm pretty sure the primary attack is the Kamehameha. I'm not sure though. And I don't remember what the other attack is. I'll shove him in C tier. I'll put Gilgrunt and Stealth Elf in IDEK. Anyway, Sonic Boom has one good thing going for her. Have I only been using him this entire time? Not calling a single Skylander her. Well, to be fair, in my defense, I'm pretty sure the only female Skylander we've ranked so far is Stealth Elf. Anyway, now Sonic Boom. One attack, that's good. I think a secondary is good with all the babies. And I don't remember what the other attack is. In fact, I don't even remember if shooting the babies is even the secondary. I'll put her in I don't know. Next is Tornado. Oh yeah, Whirlwind. I'm not actually sure. I never actually played with Whirlwind. We have Whirlwind. I think we have the Series 2 Whirlwind as well. And I know she's probably, according to Boombringer in his presidential Skybros debate Skylanders video, apparently Whirlwind is overpowered, but I don't know. And Tornado. As a Tornado fan, I don't think he's good. His primary attack is not spammable enough for a metagame where your primary attack is spammy as all hell. Well, all of the Skylanders fit this except for Camo in the S and A tier. And Whamshell used to be in the A tier, but that moved him down because I don't know. Anyway, secondary attack, he shoots a tornado. Which is good if it actually works on Skylanders and doesn't just damage them a bit. If it doesn't work, then yeah, he's going in he's bottom of D tier. Otherwise, you know what, I think that could be good. And his tertiary lets him fly, so yikes. He has an amazing design though. He is one of my favorite designs for a Skylander. However, he is in my profile picture because look at Zook. Zook looks high like crazy. And also, if I wanted to change it to another Skylander, I think it would be Drobot Moaning. Because, come on, that's just amazing. Anyway, I'll put Tornado in C tier for now. But I'm going to have to do some more testing. Anyway, and next is the Undead element. This... Why did I clap for the Undead? Oh yeah, it's because it has Chop Chop. But anyway, I'm pretty sure Cinder is just Spyro, but with more spread with a primary. The secondary, I forget what it is. And the tertiary lets her fly, which is lame. Once I find out what that secondary is, if it's good, she might be an A tier. If it's bad, I mean, she's still better than Spyro, but I think Spyro could move down a couple spots. You know, I'll put these guys down a bit. And I'll put Boomer and IDK. Because IDK. Anyway, next is Chop Chop. And Chop Chop is going in A tier. Yeah, I don't see how anyone could debate this. His primary is a sword, and it's amazing. It probably does really good damage. His secondary attack is a shield, and when you go with the shield path, my god, it does so much damage. Haven't tested it in battle mode, but I think it should do a ton of damage there as well when someone hits the attack and it blows up in their face. Yeah, I think he's going to be A tier. And his tertiary attack is not that good. Well, it's kind of good, but you don't really want to be using it because all you need is your primary and your secondary. Primary to stab people and secondary to blow people up in the face. Or tear their faces off. Next is Hex. And I don't know. Apparently your Series 2 WoW Pal has a big skull that does 300 damage, which is amazing in Arena Rumble, but this is a ring out tier list, do not forget. And also that probably fills the bar up to 10, but that's gonna take a while to set up. There's no way they'd allow that to just happen. Which is why she's in the D tier. However, she can still do stuff, I think. Her 4 spinning orbs aren't that bad. They just take too long to charge up. And the primary attack is kind of basic. But same with Gilgrunt and Zook. And Zook's in the S tier. And his primary attack is basic. I could even Chop Chop. Well, actually, a lot of Skylander's primary attack is just their main melee or projectile attack. It's kind of basic. And the tertiary attack is a wall that Skylanders can just go around. I don't think it even damages them. Maybe it does blow up in their face, but what's stopping them from going around? Unless it's like Slime Pipe and it covers half the arena. Who knows if that can even happen? She's probably better than Eruptor though. Ghost Roaster, I don't see doing all too well. Literally, I don't even have the figure. Well, I couldn't just leave and go get it. I think we have an Eon's Elite in the box. If Ghost Roaster even has an Eon's Elite. But one thing I do know is that Ghost Roaster has a good secondary attack and a alright primary attack and a really good secondary attack. Right? So imagine you had Drill Sergeant's amazing speed from his secondary attack, but you have a bigger hitbox and you do more damage. I'm not sure how much damage it actually does when you ram into people though. And his primary attack is just a basic attack. I don't think it's that good. And his tertiary attack is just... I don't think it's that good. Like, sure, you're immune to enemies, but I'm pretty sure you fill up the bar on your own. I'm not sure how much it fills up the bar. I don't even know if that actually is how it works. You have to look that up, actually. I think he's going in C tier, actually. Like, low C tier. Why is Voodoo the... What? I'll put him at the top. Because I think Voodoo is actually kind of good. Next is the Earth Element. Which, just by biased opinion, is probably my favorite. Like, I know Life Element has Zook and Camo and Tree Rex. But that's about it for me. With the Earth Element, we have Bash, we have Terrafin, we have the dragon. We have Dino Ring, which is cool, and Prison Break. Starting off, we have Bash, which is just a nice close range character with a good movement option. I think his tertiary attack is putting the wall up. No, it's not putting the wall up. That's Dino Rank's tertiary. What the hell is Bash's tertiary? How could I forget the most iconic Skylander that isn't a starter pack? Skylander's tertiary attack. What the hell? What is wrong with me? It is just building a stone wall. Stone wall. What? Why didn't... Bro, isn't that Dino Rang's tertiary as well? What the... Because I actually remember Dino Rang's tertiary. My man just copied... Oh, whatever. He still goes in A tier, but like a low A. Actually, I think he goes in B tier. I mean... if this was Arena Rumble, he'd probably be in high A tier, but it's not. So... and Prison Break is just a really cool Skylander. His primary attack shoots a laser. His secondary attack drops crystals on the ground, which he can shoot at with his laser, and it splits the laser up. And it's cool. And you can have a bunch of lasers at once. And you can also drop it on the enemy. And his tertiary attack is just a good way to get enemies away from you. So that close range Skylanders don't just obliterate you instantly. Because I know Prison Break probably sucks against melee Skylanders like Slam Bam or Double Trouble or Chop Chop. And speaking of melee Skylanders, Terrafin! I love Terrafin, but I don't think he's that good in battle mode. His secondary attack is probably one of the greatest approach tools because you're essentially immune to attacks. And you can body slam on the enemy, which charges theirs up like the bar like halfway. And you can spam primary attack to fling the enemy away. And his tertiary attack sucks. It really does suck. I don't see him anywhere above B tier. As much as I like him, he has the best approach tool in the game due to immunity. He goes in B tier. Better than Drill Sergeant and Stump Smash. Dino Ring, his primary attack is shooting a projectile that comes back to you. His secondary is shooting boomerangs in a circle around you, and his tertiary is building a wall. I think he's like C tier. It depends on how much of the bar gets filled up by his boomerangs. But he's like... He could get as high as B tier. Unless it like fills up the bar instantly. If it fills up the bar in 2 hits, it's like actually insane, and he could probably be an S tier. But I highly doubt that. And that's why I'm dumping him in C tier. Now we're up to the Giants, which I accidentally ordered wrong on Tier Maker. So we're doing it backwards actually. And starting off, we have Eyebrow. Let's go, everyone! Let's cheer for Eyebrow. S tier! And I actually think he's better than Trigger Happy. See, all I have to say is Eye Laser. You use your secondary and you mash primary. That's what you do. And you can win every time. Because the eyeball isn't a part of Eyebrow now. The Eyebrow part is actually... Well, I took a break, and I don't remember what I was up to, so we're moving on to the next Skylander, which is Flashwing, which is great. Her primary attack is a basic projectile, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. I don't know why I said I'm pretty sure, because I knew it was that. Secondary attack is another movement attack. So this is starting to look like a lot like Spyro, except it's more like a drill sergeant. Except if the primary attack didn't have a cooldown, and the tertiary attack, I'm pretty sure, is just a bunch of the primary attack projectiles going around in a circle. If that is what it actually is, that's insane. But if that isn't what it is, then that's probably better than Drill Sergeant. I'm gonna play it safe and say that that is not what it is, because that would be ridiculous. And next we have Crusher. His primary attack, he slams the ground, and if you hold it, it shoots like it has like a projectile, sort of. I'm not sure how to explain it, but like when you slam the hammer onto the ground, the area in front of it starts to like break apart, kind of, and it does a bit of damage. When I say damage, I mean it fills the bar a bit. Secondary attack, he splits off into a bunch of pieces, which is actually a terrible movement option because you're extremely vulnerable and you can't do anything. And his tertiary attack is just Slam Bam secondary, or tertiary, I'm not sure, and that's really good. However, I think it works better on Slam Bam because his primary attack is faster. And his movement option doesn't make him vulnerable. So I think Crusher goes in like B tier. Like a low B tier. Probably like worse than Flameslinger. Actually, in fact, high C tier. Next is Hot Dog, and I don't even know. And next is Hothead, which is going in A tier. Actually, no, he'll fit in B tier. And the reason why, his primary attack is just is like a flamethrower. It's basically what Sunburn's primary attack is. It's literally just a flamethrower. In the secondary, he shoots a blob of oil, which he can shoot with a fire and leave an area of fire. And his tertiary attack is the one way, the AoE, where he shoots the lava rain, and if you hold the tertiary attack, it has a big projectile. Actually, now that I think about it, he's better than Sunburn, definitely. But, like, they aren't better than any of the A tier Skylanders. I'm gonna put them in B tier. But also, Hothead can turn himself into a motorcycle, so he goes to the top of... Nah, JK. But he can do that. That's like his only movement option. And being a giant without any movement options is actually really bad. Because you're going to be slow and you're a big projectile. Actually, it's the same thing with Crusher, because he basically has no movement. Because he's vulnerable with his movement, even if it's faster. And I'm pretty sure he requires the secondary attack path to even have that be movement. Anyway, next is Jetvac, and I don't know. If I had to guess with him and Hot Dog, I think they would both be pretty low, like D tier. But right now, I have no idea. And next is Swarm, who is going in a high A tier, potentially S tier. Unlike all the giants we have mentioned so far, he has an actually decent movement option that isn't slow and doesn't make him vulnerable. And unlike Eyebrawl, and the thing with Eyebrawl is, the reason why he's so good, even without the movement, is because he can just hide the entire game, and the eye laser is just so good. And then it also summons the little babies that are also really good. So yeah. Anyway, Swarm also has a fast projectile. However, he's just not as good as Eyebrawl. He's like Eyebrawl, but if Eyebrawl wasn't basically hidden from the battle, when he spams his attack. Because his is a fly. And for both of them, the tertiary attack is basically worthless. You're literally never going to use it. Out of them, I think Eyeballs is maybe better, but it's basically a toss-up because they're both like the worst attack in the game. But they still have a setup and one of the best attacks in the game from that setup. Anyway, next is Fright Rider. I have no idea why he wasn't just after Eyebrow. I think that's kind of stupid, actually. And I don't know. And he's definitely one of the fastest Skylanders. When he dips the ostrich's head in the ground, I think that's gonna be good AoE. Because the enemy Skylander is not just gonna be able to escape that. And then the javelin thingy is gonna stabby stab. And I don't know what the secondary is. It's probably a fast movement. Anyway, chill. I don't know. Thumpback is like. Is that really what Thumpback's figure looks like? It looks so bright. It's like someone lowered the saturation and increased the brightness. I don't think that's actually what. This is what the Thumpback figure at all looks like, and just from the base alone it looks more saturated and not as bright. Like, I'm gonna have to check though. Yeah, because on the image, the Thumpback water base area is like a cyan, but on the figure we have at home, it's more of a blue, which is weird. Yeah, so now I got that out of the way. Thumpback's primary attack, or my mother's primary attack, is just the anchor. It's gonna do good damage, I know that. It's probably like 4 points to the bar. And it's also got the combo, when you spam it enough, you can spin around, which is gonna make people who are close to you get away. But if that somehow doesn't work because they're just better, you can use your secondary attack where he dives, lags the game, and gets away. I don't remember what the tertiary attack is, and I have no idea. It definitely goes in either B tier or A tier, just because of the movement alone. I think he fits in A tier though. But the tankiness of the Giants basically doesn't help them. They're just slower Skylanders with big hitboxes in this ring out. But anyway, next is Sprocket. And there was a video. I believe it was. I think it was beating Skylanders Giants in one sitting on Nightmare mode. It was a Boombringer stream. He brought a very odd point, and that is that Sprocket is actually apparently overhated. Because what you want to do is spam the mines. I don't know if that works in battle mode, if that's as good. But that's because I don't play as Sprocket, and I don't like Sprocket. I think Sprocket's ugly. And next is Bouncer. And he is at the top of S tier. I don't think I need to explain myself. If you know what I said about Trigger Happy, the same thing applies to Bouncer, but even more. Actually, now that I think about it, because having more health doesn't really matter, does it? Oh yeah, his soul gem, where you press A and B at the same time, and you fill up the bar, because it homes a little. You're gonna win every time, especially on the circle map, which is what me personally, what I use for battle mode. Next is Shroom Boom, who is also amazing. You spam the primary and the tertiary, and you use the secondary as like a shield, and then to bar yourself from the fight, and you can just keep going, just win. You got nothing to worry about is Shroom Boom. I think he definitely goes in S tier. I don't think he's as good as Zook though. He might be a bit better though because all of his attacks have value. But Zook, the one attack that has value, or the two I guess, because his secondary is basically Shroom Booms, just not in a full circle. Anyway, it has tons of value. I think Shroom Boom and Zook are both next to each other in that order. But just note that there's a Skylander that's worse than Zook in the S tier. It could be above Shroom Boom. And that's not gonna happen, I think, because none of those are S tier. Yeah, not even Tree Rex. I'm sorry, I don't. He's very, very good. I will give you that. He has the ram attack. It's an approach tool. Has his primary, which is always good. The elbow drop as well. And the tertiary, which if you just don't need the elbow drop, you can use the other path and just have the tertiary attack obliterate everything in your path, and you just win because it fills up the bar quick enough. Next is Pop Fizz. I don't know. I'm actually very disappointed with how many Skylanders are in the I don't know tier. It's kind of sad, actually. I don't like this. You literally have 3 in one element, bro. What? Like, I know I literally never use the air element, and the few Skylanders I do use in the element are really good, or Tornado, who I just like. It's entirely biased. Wait a minute, I only have 2 air elements? Whatever. Anyway, next is Ninjini, who I think is actually surprisingly good. So what you do is you go into the bottle, and I'm not sure how many Skylanders actually use the type of shield that Ninjini has, but basically, I'm pretty sure it's 1 and 2, but 1 and 2 attacks don't do anything, and you can just mash A in the potion form. I think it's A, primary attack, I'm not sure. You just mash the attack, and bam, you win. Yeah, and the primary attack is the sword. It's fine. That's about it. If it wasn't for the fact that the projectile, I could make an argument for Ninjini not only being the worst giant, but also going in the D tier. Like, actually, I'm not joking, but, you know what? She fits an A tier. Shock Chopper's definitely better, though. So yeah, this is my completely biased tier list. So yeah. Thanks for watching. There's going to be, the next version may happen a long time later. Because I do want to start my own Skylanders collection, and I want to have 2 of every Skylander. For all the Skylanders, all the paths. And another thing I want to do is, I want to have this game ring out, have like a tournament. I am going to do the other Arena Rumble tier list, but this is the ring out tier list so far. Trigger Happy is faster than Bouncer, so I could see them swapping. Maybe even Eyebrow being at number 1. And we might even finish the IDK tier. We might just have that be gone. And I'll finally have somewhere to put all these homeless Skylanders in the homeless shelter that is the I don't even know tier. Because actually none of the other tiers have a full complete row. The B tier is really close though. It only has 1 more Skylander. Look, if I put Boomer back in the B tier, alliteration, nice. It has 2 rows. But that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe maybe. Bye. See ya. Don't care. Shut up.